Welcome to Dream by Design with Melissa Banks, where women share their dreams, struggles and successes, how they were able to persevere despite the fear and create the life they want and deserve. If you're looking for inspiration to move you past where you normally would stop, then this is the show for you. Here's your host, Melissa Banks.
Welcome to Dream by Design with Melissa Banks. I'm excited you could be with us today. Today, we have another amazing woman to share her journey with us and how she was able to keep going despite the circumstances. Today, we have Theresa Friday. Welcome, Theresa, to the show. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Melissa, for having me on.
Wow, I'm excited to talk with you because I know that your journey is going to uplift and inspire us all. I did want to just say, I know that your career you have built your career over the years, actually, in finance and real estate, and you've had a lot of success in those areas. However, I was reading something that you wrote that said that your entrepreneur journey actually started when you were around 8 years old. Share with us about that.
Yes, ma'am. You're exactly right. I have always had a passion to be an entrepreneur, and I guess you can say that entrepreneurship is in my DNA. I'm like the third generation entrepreneurship, and so my parents, especially my father, which is an entrepreneur, have always instilled in me to go after your own dreams, to always strive to be a difference. Don't let anyone confine you in a box or put limitations on you. So even as a child, I have always been inspired to own my own business, and I started my first business at the age of 8.
Well, what was that business? What were you doing at 8 years old, Theresa?
I owned a candy store. Like I said, my grandparents, they own a store in Prentice, Mississippi, so I was inspired by my grandmother to own a little miniature store in my neighborhood. You know how they have the candy women? I was a candy girl.
You know, when I read that, I got so excited, Theresa, because my sister, who is deceased and has been gone for a long time, she was actually the first entrepreneur in our family. Well, I kind of claimed that for a really long time, but then when we looked back, we realized it was her. And you know what she did? She was the street candy lady. She sold candy out of my grandmother's house. And when I read that about you, I was like, oh my gosh, that just took me way back, and I really appreciated you sharing that.
Oh yes.
Okay,
ma'am.
so
I'm sorry.
Yeah. You talk about when you were working a job, you know, and so many of us can relate to that. You know, even though you have that entrepreneur spirit in your core, we work jobs, and those jobs typically are there to pay the bills. And you know that that's not where your purpose is. You know that's not where you're supposed to be, but you do it anyway. But you pushed past that, Theresa, and you said you made the hard decision to leave that full-time job that was paying the bills and go after your dream. And you talk about how excited you were about that, but also about the fear. But you didn't let the fear stop you. Talk to us about how you pushed through that fear and still made that decision to go after your dream.
Okay, first of all, Melissa, I am a believer in Christ, and, you know, I just believe firmly that the Bible said that the steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord who delighteth in his way. And so, like I said prior to, I've always wanted to own a business. I just didn't know what it was. And so just doing day-to-day routine, you know, just a regular job, I just started to begin to feel unease, you know, like it got to be more to this than what I'm doing. You know, it got to the point that it was making me sick. Like I got sick even thinking about going to work. So I knew then that my time was probably up, and it was probably a way of God was pushing me that it's time for me to step out into the things that he had already promised me at the age of 18 when I tried to commit suicide.
Wow. Even with all of that, you still was able to pull onto your faith, pull onto your belief that your steps are ordered. I definitely agree with you on that. And you said yes to your dream. So you stepped out into your dream. And how does that feel, you know, to know that you honored yourself, you honored what God has told you, and you stepped out? How does that make you feel today that you did that and see the success that you have and where you are right now?
It feels fulfillment. Like I know that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. You know, I mean, I wake up today, every day, like who I supposed to touch today. And it's just not a business for me. It's a ministry. I love helping people. So the business that I'm in, it allows me to interact with people. And it's so fulfilling. It's beyond a check. It's a purpose. It's a dream. It's a ministry. So it's fulfilling knowing that I'm doing actually what I was called to do, which is inspire and encourage people. But it's the real estate and the finance is just an avenue to get to the people.
Oh, wow, absolutely. If you're just joining us, you're listening to Dream by Design with Melissa Banks. Today, our guest is Theresa Friday. She's an author, realtor, accountant, and speaker. Theresa, something you just said takes me back to your first book, God Sees Greatness in You Too, Overcoming the Suicide Battle Within. So that makes me think about such a powerful, powerful book. You know, I read that book when it first came out, and I flipped back through it, and that it is a powerful book, and hopefully our listeners will pick that book up. But tell me, how did writing the book and sharing so much of your journey with the reader, how did that impact your journey?
Okay, writing the book brought about a healing to me. I lost my mother in 2011 suddenly. She went to sleep on a Monday and then wake up on a Tuesday. So after my mother passed, it was an awakening to me that I need to go after everything that I have in my heart to do. And so I really wrote that book in memory of my mom, and also writing a book, sharing my story, because over the years I have always kept journals and I wrote, and I didn't know what it was for. And I just wanted to share how God allowed me, the one that was fearful, the one that was depressed, the one that was perplexed, the one that was discouraged, that he see goodness in you too. He see greatness in you too. So it's just a testament of my story that I wanted to share with people. And it birthed out, you know, after my mom's death. It just made me realize that life is too short and you no longer can be on the sideline and waiting, because time doesn't wait on no man. So whatever you got to do, just go ahead and get it done.
Wow, Theresa, that's awesome. But you didn't even stop right there. I can remember when I first picked this book up, I had no idea what my business would be, I was still kind of figuring out my purpose. And this book can help you see, you know, yeah, we all have some things, you know, and some big things, some things that hurt, some things that will stop you. But all of that was going on, and you could still see the God in you. And to me, that is so powerful about this book. But you didn't even stop right there. You have founded an organization with this same title called God Sees Greatness in You Too, LLC. Why was it important for you to go further than the book with helping people?
Well, because like I said, at the age of 18, I was suicidal, and I remember after taking so many pills, finna commit suicide. God gave me a vision. I didn't understand then, but now, and of course, ain't this ironic that we are in the month of June? But anyway, that he promised me that he was going to make my name great in ministry, in speaking and empowering people, in business too. So just to see the promises coming into fruition is so fulfilling. And like I said, the death of my mother just made me really just move forward. You know, people was on the sideline wondering what's going to happen next, what's going to happen next. But really my mother's death pushed me into my destiny, pushed me into my purpose.
Wow, Theresa, that right there is so huge, because when we face something big, and it may not be what you face, but when we face something big, when we can see God's promises and still hold on to his word and push through it. I have shared so many times that if some things hadn't happened to me that pushed me to the next thing, I would have stopped a long time ago. But you pushed through all of that, and you're still going. You still had so much success. So that says so much to you, and will encourage so many other women and individuals, frankly, that can hear the story and hear how you push through some really big life challenges. And your ultimate goal is to serve people and to help people today. So tell us, Theresa, what are some of the ways that you do pour into others and you serve, because that's what I hear every time you talk about your situations, but you talk about your passion, your purpose, and that's serving others. How are some ways that you do that?
I do it by inspiring people, encouraging people, share my testimony, letting them know I'm a testament of what could be done if you apply, especially faith. I mean, I've crazy, ridiculous faith. It's like the more that I read his word, the more that my faith grows. So everything stings around my level of belief about myself, what the opportunity lies ahead, just being a go-getter. And the Bible said that faith comes by hearing, and hearing coming by the word of God. And so I try to let people hear faith. I talk faith. I show them the word in faith. I'm writing books in reference to faith. I'm creating some ideas that's about to hit the marketplace about faith. So helping other people to really hold on to your faith. Ain't just saying talking faith, but we're actually talking it, seeing it when you don't see it, applying it when you don't feel like doing it. And if you apply it and do it, then you will see the manifestation. So just really educating people and encouraging people every day about doing a faith check, FAITH check. So everything where I am and where I'm going is pretty much built on faith.
Oh, absolutely. Now, Theresa, you have built your business successfully. I've seen your business grow, and you have definitely built it. And so standing back looking, I want to just celebrate you. However, I did want to ask you, your business is a female-owned business. Do you feel like you face any challenges because it's a female-owned business? And if so, how do you overcome those challenges?
They really haven't crossed my mind. I mean, the industry that I'm in is pretty much a female business. Maybe minority business might be the question that you want to ask. But I just press through it. I mean, I don't really focus on that. I just focus on the hand of help increase home ownership.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Well, Theresa, I have to ask everyone I talk to, because 2020 was such a big year, and there were some really not so good things that happened in 2020, but there were also some things that pushed us to new levels that we never thought we would be. How was your business in 2020 with COVID-19? How was it impacted?
Of course, it was different, but I just made adjustment to it. But I never, for is the success of the business, it never really stopped. I mean, again, it comes back to faith, that God is going to sustain, in any season that I'm in. So I just kept on holding on to what he said, even though what I saw on the news. And I really didn't give in until the news, like, people were like, well, who's going to buy a house and this is not going to happen. I don't allow negativity to feed into my ears. So I'm very cautious of what I hear and what I watch and what I listen to. So I really
it's amazing you said that. It's amazing you said that, Theresa, because we just had a conversation recently about what you allow into your space and what you allow it to feed into your spirit. So that you just said is so important. Even through that, you didn't let it pour into you, but you kept going and focused on where you wanted to be.
Exactly.
Wow, that's huge. So you pour into others, Theresa, and I hear it in your voice. I hear it in every answer that you give today, and I know it's in your life that's how you spend your life, and it's very important to you to pour into others, to motivate others, and to inspire them. But what about you? When you are feeling overwhelmed, when you are feeling like I just need a word, what is it that you do to push yourself when it gets hard? How do you get that encouragement that you give out so freely?
Well, I mean, I'm grateful to have a great support system. Of course, my husband, and he also a man of God, so he can discern when something is wrong. My children, because they kind of know my personality, so I got a great support system. And just kind of stealing away sometimes. During the COVID, I did lose my godmother, which was like my mom to me, and I felt like that I was had relived my mom's death, and so that was kind of hard. But just stealing away in his presence, stealing away in journal, feeling away, spending time with my family and just letting God know, like, look, God, I need you. I'm going through this and that because I'm a firm believer. I'm a word person. He said, cast all of your cares upon him, for he cares for you. So sometimes I had to go in and let him know, and I need you to help me. But most of the time, prayer and the support system, the journal just kind of helped me make it day to day. I just take one day at a time.
Oh, wow, absolutely. And let me just say, offer my condolences for the loss of your godmother. I wasn't aware of that. And isn't prayer great that it can get you through those difficult things, too? So, Theresa, what advice or what would you say to another woman entrepreneur who's listening right now, who's going through a lot of challenges that she's facing in her business? She feels afraid. She don't know what to do. She needs something. What would you say to her right now?
To continue to work on your mindset, because your mind is everything. The Bible said that whatsoever man thinketh, so is he. Affirm, read. Don't confine yourself in a box. If it was easy, everybody will be doing it. Get a spirit of determination, tenacity to press through. Have a why. Like, why are you doing what you're doing? My why, my biggest why is my biggest why is for my father and my family, but most definitely in memory of my mom. So every time whatever I do, I center it like I'm doing it in memory of my mom, because so many times we talked about these dreams. So I always remember the why you doing it. So when you get to the time of like you giving up, you have that why in front of you to remind you why you doing it.
That's huge, and that's absolutely correct. I agree with you so wholeheartedly, to focus on your why and not the what, and that is so huge. Well, Theresa, this has been such a great conversation. You are definitely a testament of what Dream by Design is all about, and it's pushing through despite what the circumstances are. So you have definitely inspired us today. So what's going on with you? What's next for you and your business?
Actually, I'm working on a journal that I'm about to release. I'm working on some journal. I don't want to say too much because I'm a person that kind of like to work behind the scenes and just kind of let it be released the moment that I am. But I am working on some things to kind of encourage and empower people even more. 3 areas that I want to touch on is their faith, their finances, and their fulfillment. So I've been working on some things behind the scenes. So just stay tuned.
But we will keep watching and keep listening for what's coming next. Absolutely. Thank you again for being here today. Share with our audience how they can get in contact with you.
Okay, you can go to my website. Of course, real estate is www.tgifrealty.com, or you can follow me on social media, real estate related, Theresa C. Friday, realtor, or Theresa C. Friday for ministry. And my number is 601-212-3119, Theresa Friday with Friday's Realty.
Wow, thank you again, Theresa. This conversation has truly been an amazing conversation, and thank you for just taking the time to share with our audience.
My pleasure.
And thank you to our audience for tuning in to today's edition of Dream by Design. I'm your host, Melissa Banks, saying all your dreams are possible. Believe in yourself, work hard, and don't quit. Until next time, thank you for choosing Dream by Design with Melissa Banks. Enjoy your day.